going to demonstrate how to sew the felt to felt. If you're going to stuff your feet, which is recommended, you'll need to sew the pieces of felt together. But when we do that, we don't want any knots or any thread tails on the top or the underneath side or back of your work. I like to keep my pattern pieces close by because I'm going to look and see where the two dots are. This is where I'm supposed to leave my felt open for stuffing. There's one here and one here. And the dots are always on an area of the pattern piece or the project that's not curved. We would never leave it open along here because it's too curvy. And usually it's in a spot where it's a little bit out of the way. Just as when you sew your big felt project together, make sure that you've seen the demo in class and your teacher is signed off on the felt to felt. And what we're going to do first is we will lift open the two pieces of felt. This will be the back part of the foot. This will be the good side or the top. So we lift it open and all we do is we go down and up for our beginning tack. We go right through the two pieces of thread just below the knot. I have a little loop, so I'm going to pull it out and straighten the sides of the thread to make sure I have an equal amount on each side. Right where our knot is, we'll leave our thread tail about 1 inch long from here to here. The reason why is we can then tuck it in. We can manipulate it much easier than if it was cut short. Here's our knot. Here's my beginning tack right in between my work. I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go straight up and I'll start my back stitch. When you're stitching the front to the back, of course you'll use the back stitch because it's much stronger than the running stitch. And when we're doing this, this is for the pieces that will be stuffed. You have to be very careful not to mix up the front of the back stitch with the back of the back stitch. The back of your work will look a little messy, especially if you use a little longer stitch and when you round the corners. There's nothing that we can do about that. That's a very, very common question. Also, I will caution everybody when you sew the front to the back and you use your back stitch, when you stop and start, don't mix up back with the front. Many students will have a beautiful front when they're stitching along, and then they will do their end tack and start again with a new piece of thread, and they will put the bad side or the yucky side on the top here. You don't want to do that, so double check your work to make sure it's the nice top stitching all the way around. Now, I've run out of thread. We have to stop when we have a finger's length worth of thread, 2.5 to 3 inches, so we need to do an end tack. When we do the end tack, we don't do it on the back of the felt. We have to open the two pieces of felt up just as we did in the beginning, and then we'll take our needle and we go up and do our end tack right in here. And to do that, I'll go down and up. I pick up a little few pieces of felt, and then I go through the loop, and I'll go down and up again. And if you didn't leave enough thread, here's a little trick. You can always put the needle through the eye first. It doesn't have to be the pointed part of the needle or the tip of the needle first. It can certainly be the eye of the needle. I like to do that twice, and then you can go right through your thread pyramid. I'll put the eye of the needle through again. And then you'll cut your work, stow your needle, and do an overhand tie. I'll separate those with my nails. We go 1, 2. And again, I'm going to leave this tail about 1 inch long so I can manipulate it. I want it to tuck it in. Make sure you tuck all those in. I will thread up and then I'll continue on after I do my beginning tack.